that magic number in the center of the screen? 21C. Finally, like, you know, it's 2:45, and I'm in a light sweater. It's 21, so 10 is 18F, right? So 32, that's 50. So 50F is 10C. So 68 is that. You know, that's, I know Florida people now are watching and they're shivering, but for us Canadians in Ontario, this is like unbelievable. You know, in the morning it was 32 or something. I know that I slept in the truck. I woke up at 6 o'clock. I couldn't sleep. It was so cold, and I didn't want to run the heater out of principle, because a couple of days we have May, right? So anyway, I got unloaded, no big deal. You see, now I'm back in my yard, just driving my Mustang, my beloved little race car. And so the flip axle is up. So you see, running with last axle up. And of course, the way it works, as soon as you flip your axle, and hold on, I'm running air conditioning in the car. It's probably like the first, no, maybe second time this year I have air conditioning. And as soon as I flip the axle, now I need it, because I thought I would be doing that cat, right? So I just delivered this small excavator in Kitchener, and then after that I went to Best Tire to do alignment, because basically the wheel was like, you see, like now, like I'm sitting straight, right? On the yeah, like this, sorry. My camera, my smartphone has two cameras in here. See, 1, 2, and 1 I can do like this angle, or I can do this angle. So for some reason it was on a different angle, but anyway. So yeah, on the Kenworth, for some reason with the load, when I was going straight, the steering wheel was sitting like this, you know. And I just noticed that, either because there was when I was going empty, there was a spot where the shoulder, was a drop in the shoulder, and the front right tire went for a second, you know, it was a curve, went, you know, just, I don't know, second or 2 seconds, went on the shoulder, you know, and I had to kind of like push it a little bit to go left. But I got dual steering gears, you know, that's why I like this 12,000 pound front axle, because you get dual steering gears, and so it's very easy. But I thought maybe because of that I you know, messed up something in there, and I looked underneath, everything was fine. But the truck has 11,000 kilometers now, which is what, about 8-9,000 miles, right? So yeah, less than 8, it's like 7, yeah, like 7,000 miles. And so I booked actually an appointment with them before. If you remember, the truck was wandering a little bit, but that was when I was just driving, no trailer, empty, you know, hardly any fuel. And so when I called Kenworth said, wait till around 10-20,000 kilometers, and plus, you know, try how the truck feels when it's loaded, right? And then I started driving loaded, and that uncertain steering disappeared, so everything was fine. But then the other day I noticed that my steering is to the right, and also the truck was pulling slightly, like, you know, I'm in the curb lane, of course, everything is tilted, but the way this alignment works, you should not be drifting towards the ditch, even though the road is tilted to the right, to the passenger side. And so I noticed it didn't do that before. But basically what happens is that, you know, the suspension, like so I called Bass Tire again. I said, guys, I'm ready, let's do it. And they said, okay, 10 o'clock. And so they said, if you cannot be here for 10, then we'll have to wait till 3. And so as soon as I unloaded the excavator, I went there. Actually, I was there like 1 hour early at 9. And I just waited, you know, they have like free coffee, free tea, free Wi-Fi, very nice guys. And it took them a while, and I was wondering, like, what's going on, you know, like, I went in to talk to them. I said, did I break anything like over there? Like, why is it really bad? And they said, no, you didn't break anything. Everything is cool. But they said all axles were out of alignment. They said the front axle was messed up. It was set up a wrong way. He says like they had to leave the axle and those shims in there. He says they were put in the wrong direction. So basically, he says the way the alignment works, because you're driving in the curb lane, right? So naturally, your truck will try to steer towards the right. So the way they align these trucks, they align it to slightly pull to the left. And he says, in my case, it was set up so the truck pulls to the right, which you're already pulling to the right because of the tilt in the road, and you're always in the curb lane. And so they fixed that, and then they said your drive axles were basically messed up. So, but he says it's a good thing that I did it now, because before sometimes they said the guys would bring a brand new truck, and then right from the factory, right, and they do the alignment like good boys should. And then they said a month later they'll show up again, because they said what happened is on a brand new truck the suspension settles, everything is new, right? And they have to redo the alignment. And so he says now we just tell people wait till you have at least 10,000 kilometers on it. So basically it's a perfectly normal thing for such a complicated piece of machinery. Like, your car might need an alignment, right? But imagine I was pulling 88,000 pounds, 60, some pretty heavy loads, right? And I'm moving my gooseneck all the time and different axles. So all effects. So actually, I think, now the truck kind of like broke in a little bit. And so they did the alignment, and they, for some reason, they decided to reset the steering wheel. The truck pulls to the right and the steering wheel was to the right. So to me, that's perfect. That means that if you fix the alignment on the axle from under the truck, then the steering wheel should go back, And they said no, from the beneath it showed that the steering wheel was a bit to one side. So they opened this part, and they turned. I said, which way did he turn the wheel? And the guy says, to the right. I said, to the right. That cannot be, the proper way, I'm sure. I said, I trust you guys 100%. You're my favorite shop. But I said, I want to go. It's getting too hot. I said, I want to go on the quick road test. And actually, the way they were doing this, I didn't drop the trail. I just disconnected the gooseneck over there, right? And used the support, rubber over there. Oh, and I want to show you guys how it sits, because some people were leaving some funny comments about the flip axle. But anyway, so I went on a quick road test, and sure enough, the truck was perfectly fine. Of course, I only drove like 40 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour, because it's a 2-lane road. But now I drove on the freeway, everything's perfect. But the steering wheel was tilted to the right. Yeah, just a little bit less, but still tilted, like kind of like this, So like this is straight, and on the Kenworth it was like this. And so I went back, and the guy said, okay, park in here in front of Bay 1. And Bay 1, that's all their cars with little, those hydraulic jacks. And I'm trying to come in there close so that the guy doesn't have to walk far with all his tools. And the mechanics that were working on cars, they're kind of looking at me like, why is this monster truck, what he's trying to do, to get in the building? And, it's for cars, right? So the roof is very low. And the one guy was looking at me and just scratching his head. And then he went back to work on his little car that he had in there. But, I parked like this in front of the bay, and the guy came out with some tools. He opened the center part, boom. And he just moved it. He said before he had moved it by like 1 notch. And so I said, just move it back and it should be perfect. And so he did. And now everything is perfect. The alignment is perfect. The steering wheel is perfect. The sky is blue and it's 21 Celsius. Okay, not working, showing now. 21 Celsius. And the big cat load finally canceled. We spent around $350 on permits, and then people could not sign off on utility lines over there. They were too low, and they didn't want to remove the cab. Okay, I said, how about the wheels? It's sitting at the dealer, right? You know, no big deal. They were going back and forth, and then finally the freight broker I was dealing with, he says, that's it. They decided to cancel because of the height restrictions and the weight. So I guess, I don't know. They're going to sell it on the auction and then just tell the guy that to look at it, he has to go here to the dealer, not to Bolton, the Ritchie brothers. And probably that they have to arrange their own freight, like shipping, you know, because that would be, but basically you need either to take one of these off, cabs or the wheels, or you have to have a super low, one of those beam trailers, you know. But I don't know, I think even on a beam trailer would be too tall, you know. It's just that area, like north of that is fine, but south of that, Aurelia, Ontario, there's lots of bridges which are like, I don't know, just over 14 feet, you know, and it's just too low. And so as I was standing there waiting for them to fix the wheel, a pickup truck pulls in. Some guy starts waving at me and, hey, Sergei, Captain Sergei. He starts walking around the truck, checking things out. Hey, I watch your videos. And he said, yesterday you mentioned that you're coming to Bass Tire. And he says, I live or work just 5 miles away. And so he came to say hello. You know, very nice guy. So I showed him the truck. I showed him the gooseneck. I showed him those electric pins. And by the way, I said tomorrow, it's going to be in this video. What I'm doing now, I said tomorrow I booked an appointment. So finally I'm going to settle that issue of the non-working flashing lights. So Kenworth says, yep, we open at 7. No, they open at 6. I said, geez, you're crazy. Okay, I'll be there at 7. So I'm going to wake up at 6 o'clock tomorrow and 7. I said, I'm going to bring my trailer so that we make sure that the battery charging when you guys hook it up. But basically, as someone suggested, I think a very cool suggestion, he says, just add a fuse in the fuse box. But again, a brand new truck on warranty, you know, I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to burn it down by putting in a wrong fuse. And so I told Kenworth, I said, option 1, you guys just install the fuse, right? And they should know which one it is. If it's a possibility in there, just to power the center pin on the connector in the back of the sleeper, or you use that spare switch and just assign power to that switch. So once I flip that switch, I have power. You know, once I unflip it, no power. So which would be perfect, right? And so the CAT is canceled, and I started looking at the load board. There was a load going. You'll be excited that it's a huge excavator going into US, and we went back and forth about the price. The guy wouldn't budge. You know, it's a big machine, so he had it $100. I said, come on. He says, no, that's all I have. I said, Jesus, okay, can we do just another couple $100 and we're good, you know? No, I don't have that much money in it, you know? And so I forget about the guy, and then the cat loader guy emails me saying that the load is canceled. I figured, okay, shoot, I'll better take this one. So I called the guy, said, you still looking for a truck? And he says, yeah, I found one, but he can only load the Wednesday. And I said, I'm trying to move it ASAP. And I said, okay. I said, tomorrow I'm going to my Kenworth shop for a quick fix of the lights. Shouldn't take too long, but I said lunchtime, somewhere around noon, I can load this thing. It loads not too far from me, you know. But I said, note 1, it must be washed, right? I'm not going with a 12 foot 6 inch wide load through a truck wash, okay? They must wash it to go across the border, okay? And note number 2, I said note, or beware that New York State permits can take up to 3 days, because the guy seems in a rush to move it. I said, just, I'm warning you, it's not my fault. Ontario, I got Ontario covered by my annual permit, and I can do that quick amendment, right, that you fax in for the weight. But it's one of those, if you go into my older videos, it's one of those, the biggest excavator I ever hauled. This is the one. The same name, same model number. 12.6 wide, you know. So it's going to be exciting. Just going not too far, so the rate is okay, you know, not the best, but you know, the profit is there. So I'm making money, the broker is making money, and he just sent me he said, before I started recording the video, I saw the email saying, "I will just send you the carrier packet." So that's what they call it, carrier packet. So it's just a bunch of stuff you have to sign, and then once you do that, then they send you the rate confirmation. You sign that, and then sometimes they send you like a dispatch sheet, you know, like a bill of lading or something, where it tells you exactly what to do, what to say. Say you're there on behalf of this company, you know, or don't say that, you know. Sometimes they send you these instructions. But okay, so last video was me not talking. This video is me all talking, right? What is that? Oh, wait a second. That's the 300 horsepower V6 motor. Spring is coming, so now we're gonna be driving with open windows. So you guys, wow, that sounds awesome. I forgot that sound, you know. Anyway, now I see what some people meant. Yeah, actually from this angle, hold on, let me increase. Yeah, from this angle, it looks like the flip axle sits on on D-rings. But I know not all of you, but some of you, I think, guys, you went to school, right? So you know that the D-ring, it looks like this, right? So a D-ring is it's moving, right? The whole point of a D-ring that it moves. So when the flip axle sits like that, so it cannot sit on the D-ring because it would go down, it would go this way or that way, right? So the way the flip axle sits, okay, just I'm gonna show you this once, so you guys want to bookmark this video so you can return later. So that's what it sits on, okay? It has this leg on a rubber, okay? This is rubber, right? And you see that? You see the light between the D-ring and the frame? You see this? Okay. So here we have the pins, right? And I cannot even move them, right? Because right now the axle is pushed down by the strap over here, and of course it's strapped down. You cannot just drive down the road with. I put this over here because sometimes usually I use that D-ring on top over there. See the D-ring? And I just put the chain in here, but when I have a load, that chain interferes because I have to use these D-rings. Like, you know, if I have some loader or scraper with a bucket, I cannot use that over here. And you see, it sits on this, and you see that there's a light under the D-ring. Okay, and that's how we roll. See? Because it's probably, I see the little over here, it's scratched, so probably it hits it a little bit when the truck is jumping up and down, but it's not sitting on the D-ring. Come on. All right. And what's funny is that I started saying that as soon as I flip it, usually I find a low. Oh, cool. And I added the sticker. You guys should love this. See this? Of course, now it reads perfect, but when the flip axle is down, of course it's going to be like this, you know, it's going to be upside down. Oh, like I flip my phone, nothing happens. It automatically corrects itself. But basically, I just saw this sign at the Canadian Tire store in here, and I thought it was funny, and so I added that. But this big excavator, so definitely I need the flip axle. So we're gonna use the machine to flip it down, and I didn't remove my, at least I didn't flip this back, because that's too much work. So I need this for that big excavator because I'll be using the pusher axle, so I need that somewhere here. See, so I need to move it about 2 feet forward. Okay, so that's what I'm doing next. It's gonna be an exciting trip. So the lights are working, everything works here. Now we have everything aligned, except I think eventually I'm gonna get rid of these mud flaps, you know. But actually now I know. It's just that it's a pain in the butt. Now I know that if I have a heavy load and I'm using the pusher axle and this is over here with a heavy load, right? I know that when I'm backing, I have to stop and I have to raise the gooseneck. You know, over here, I gotta stop, I gotta start the PTO, and I have to go like position 5, you know, like down, you know. So then this goes up, and then the gooseneck is not damaging the fenders. But it's just a pain in the butt, you know. But I don't know, I think my next truck might have 52,000 pound suspension, because this is 46, you know. And I was thinking about that, but the sales guy, the Kenworth guy, says, oh no, they'll be too heavy. But you see, that's a situation. Like I thought, okay, I'm getting a steerable pusher, you know, what can go wrong? You know, why do I need 52,000? Because it's going to be there. But it, even if you don't lift it yourself, it lifts automatically when you go back, you know. And so let's say if you have 90 or 100,000 pounds on the deck, that just puts, I don't know, it can put like 55,000 in here, you know. And of course it's, you know, for a couple of seconds, you know, maybe, I don't know, 20 seconds as you're backing, but still. But that's why, specifically, that's why it hits the fender, because the suspension is not strong enough for a heavy load, you know. Because this is when this happened, when I had that crane, 88,000 pounds, you know. And so I don't know. For now, the truck is pretty much perfect the way it is, except I don't know, maybe I would get the heavier suspension, and of course the catwalk in here, but I can do it later on, and the step somewhere here. But everything else is perfect. The truck is set up for heavy loads, big loads. So now I need a 60-ton trailer. See, I need something like this.